There lived a mother pig. Come on up here, mother pig. Come stand up on stage. Can I call you Mom? Come on up here, Mom. Stand up there in front of that. That's perfect. A little pig who had 3 little pigs of her own. Her oldest pig, silly pig. Get on up there, silly. Her second pig, foolish pig. Come on up here, foolish. There you go. And her third pig, sensible pig. Welcome to watch, smart pig. But you will notice the same thing I noticed about these pigs. They were not little pigs. They were big pigs. Already bigger than their mother, which happens far sooner than you expect. And they got this way because every day they would go down into the kitchen, and they would throw open the cupboards in the refrigerator, they would stick their heads in, and they would start to eat. It sounded like this. Pig noises, pig noises. It was disgusting. And soon they had eaten the mother out of house and home. She'd had enough. She stomped her foot. She said, "Little pigs, it's time to move out and build your own houses." Well, the 3 little pigs were very sad. Their chins began to tremble. But Mother Pig said, "Don't worry, everything will be fine. As long as you follow my advice," she said. So she held up one finger. She said, "Always eat your vegetables." Moms say that kind of thing. She raised up 2 fingers. She said, "Always wear a jacket." She raised 3 fingers. She said, "Always change your underwear." What? That's the kind of thing moms say. There are moms here. They would say that. And she raised 4 fingers. She said, "Always, always watch out for the big bad wolf." The 3 little pigs said, "Yes, Mama."
Yes, Mama.
And she patted them each on the head. Dook, dook, dook. And she blew them piggy kisses. And then Mama went down the stairs and back out into the audience to her empty nest where she secretly did a happy dance to the applause of the crowd. Well, the 3 little pigs gave each other trotter bumps and said to each other, "Goodbye and good luck." And so Sensible Pig and Foolish Pig went back down to wait their turn. You know, these things happen in 3 parts. But Silly Pig decided to stay here and build her house. Now, she had never made a house before. Let's be fair. But she thought maybe you could use globs of mud or maybe little pebbles to make it. She had no idea. Luckily for her, some folks came along who had an idea of what she could use. There was a crow came flying along. That's you, I think. There you go. It's pretty easy. You flap your wings and say, "Caw." A crow came flying along. Now, crows are very good at collecting things. You knew this about them, right? And this crow was picking up pieces of straw off of the ground that she could use to make her house. There's a whole bunch right there at your feet. There you go. Now, when the pig saw this, she was not so silly as to not realize this was perfect for her. So she asked the crow if she could use the straw to build her house. Well, the crow looked at the audience and looked at the pig and looked at the straw and said, "A house of straw, that sounds silly."
A house of straw? That sounds silly.
But she agreed to help her build it anyway. So they found a nice place. Looked like it was made of grass. They were going to use that as a foundation. And they began to build a house. You ever made a house of straw? No. Oh, it's pretty simple. Like that. And in no time at all, they had, working together, constructed a beautiful little house of straw. When it was on its foundation, the pig went inside, stuck her face out the window. She said thank you to the crow.
Thank you.
The crow warned her to watch out for...
Watch out for the big bad wolf.
Okay.
And then flew away to the applause of the crowd. Leaving the pig standing there looking out the window, just in time for someone to come huffing and puffing down the forest trail. It was a little girl with a red cape and a basket of goodies. Up the path she came, and when she saw that pig face sticking out of the window, she said, "Grandma!"
Grandma.
In fact, she stopped about right here so everyone can see her face. It's better for pictures. She said, "Grandma, what a pig face you have."
Grandma, what a pig face you have.
But the pig said, "I'm not your grandma."
I know your grandma.
She said, "This is my house of straw. I built it myself."
This is my house of straw. I built it myself.
Well, the little girl looked the house up and looked it down and said, "A house of straw is silly."
The house of straw is silly.
Never mind. She skipped across the stage and down the other stairs for dramatic effect. To the applause of the crowd. Just in time for someone else to come huffing and puffing down the forest trail. I think you know who it is. It was the big bad wolf. When the big bad wolf saw that pig face sticking out of the window, she stopped right here where people stand and said what she always says, help her out.
Little pig, let me in.
And the pig said what the pig always says.
Not by the hair of my chin, chin, chin.
So the wolf said, "Then I'll
Huff.
and I'll
Huff.
and I'll
Blow your house in.
So she huffed and she puffed and sure enough blew the house down, leaving the pig just standing there. The pig looked at the wolf looked at the pig screamed and ran for her life back down the stairs. The wolf howled and followed to the applause of the crowd. Of course, while all of this was going on, Foolish Pig was busy building his house. He'd found a very similar location. And like his sister, he'd never made a house before, had he? I mean, out of Legos, but that doesn't really count. Thought maybe you could use bubblegum wrappers or butterfly wings. He had no idea. Luckily, some folks came along who did know. It was a little bear came up the stairs with help from a storyteller. Here, grab a bear. That's Papa, your mom.
Hello there.
The bears, I think you know these folks. They go for a walk just about every morning while their porridge cools. And while they were walking this time, they were picking up sticks off of the ground. They were going to use them in their fire to help make that porridge hot again when they got home. It's a part of the story you didn't know. But when Foolish Pig saw all of those sticks, he was not so foolish as to not realize that this was perfect for him. So he asked if he could use the sticks to build his house. Said the pig very eloquently. Well, the bears looked at each other and they looked at the audience and they looked at the pig and they said, "A house of sticks? That sounds foolish."
House of sticks? That sounds foolish.
"We'll help you build it." So they got to work building a house. With all of them working very hard at it, it didn't take too long before they had constructed a house that was much sturdier, a bit more rustic looking, a house of sticks. The pig went inside and on his tiptoes stuck his face out the window. He said thank you to the bears, one of whom wanted to try it herself. And the bears warned him to watch out for, said the pig. The pig said, "You watch out for little girls." Well, the bears looked at each other. They said, "Why?" He said, "They eat your porridge." "It happened to me last week," he said. And the bears thanked him and in panic ran back home to the applause of the crowd, realizing that as always they had left the door open. Just in time for someone to come huffing and puffing down the forest trail. It was a handsome prince on a horse. "Rapunzel, Rapunzel, let down your long hair," said the prince. But the pig looked at the prince and said, "I think you got the wrong house, bub." "Is this the forest tower?" It isn't? Do you at least have long golden hair? Said the pig. The pig said, but I do have hair on my chinny chin chin. Is that true? Do you have hair on your chinny chin chin? Well, not yet. Gross. Disgusting. Tally-ho! And off the prince rode, leaving the pig standing there in bewilderment. Just in time for someone else to come huffing and puffing down the forest trail. It was the little girl with the basket of goodies. She stopped in the place where the people stand and said to the pig, Grandmama, what funny pig ears you have.
What funny ears you have.
But the pig said, sorry, kid,
Sorry, kid.
just us pigs. Well, the little girl stomped her foot. She said, it figures, and skipped across the stage for dramatic effect, to the applause of the crowd. Just in time for someone else to come huffing and puffing down the forest path. You know her, you love her, the big bad wolf! And when she saw that pig face sticking out of the window, she said what she always says.
Little pig, let me in.
And the pig said what the pig always says.
Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin.
So the wolf said, then I'll
Huff and I'll puff
and I'll
blow your house in.
She huffed and she puffed and she blew the house over, leaving the pig just standing there. The pig looked at the wolf looked at the pig screamed. Scream, Jonathan. Is that your loudest scream? It's very subtle. Scream loud. Scream loud. It was like that. Who dubbed that? Oh, very good. He ran for his life. Even bailed off the front of the stage. Followed by the wolf to the applause of the crowd. Of course, while all of this was going on, Sensible Pig was busy building a house too. Now, to be fair, she had never made a house before either. But she'd read several engineering manuals and she thought she had it all sussed out. The problem now is what to build it out of. She thought maybe she could use concrete, but it takes so long to cure. Maybe plexiglass and steel plates, but it's very expensive. Luckily, someone came along who gave her an idea. It was a bunny bounding down the bunny trail with a big barrel of bricks. In fact, a bunch of bunnies. As they bounded down the bunny trail with a big barrel of bricks. This pig was clever enough to realize that this is exactly what she needed. She asked the bunnies if she could borrow their bricks to build her house. Well, the bunnies looked at each other, and they looked at the audience, and they looked at the pig. They said, a house of bricks?
A house of bricks?
That sounds sensible.
That sounds sensible.
And so they helped build it. Now, bunnies may be small, but if you've never seen a bunch of bunnies building, boy, yo, boy. In no time at all, they had built a much larger, much heavier, 2 stories, 4-bedroom, 2.5 bath, with the garage in back, house of bricks. The pig stuck her face out of the window and said thank you to the bunnies, who simply said bye-bye and bounded away. Boing, 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 boing. Just in time for someone to come huffing and puffing down the forest trail. It was Silly Pig and Foolish Pig. They were still on the run from the wolf. When they got to the house, they said, Sister, sister, you gotta let us in. The wolf's after us. Well, the little pig said, don't be silly. Don't be foolish. Get in here. So they all went in and stuck their faces out the window. Just in time for, you know, the big bad wolf. And when she saw those pig faces sticking out of the window, she said what she always says. Little pigs, let me in. And the pigs said what the pigs always say. Not by the hair of my chinny chin chin. So the wolf said, then I'll huff, and I'll puff, and I'll blow your house in. So she huffed, and she puffed, and she puffed, and she huffed, and she huffed, and she puffed, and you're going to have to help her. It's a very big house. Huffed and puffed, and huffed and puffed, and huffed and puffed, and huffed and puffed. Finally, she couldn't blow it down. What's more, she passed out. Fell right down on the ground. Kablooey. When she finally woke up, she stomped her foot, she folded her arms, she looked at the audience, and she started to cry like a baby wolf. It sounded like howling, that's how they cry. Well, the pigs looked out the window and they felt sorry for the wolf. They said, what's the matter, sister? She stomped her foot and she said, I'm just trying to do my job. But Sensible Pig was watching all of this very, very carefully as the extra elephant child came up to visit the wolf. Do you know that person? Big Bad Wolf? Very good. Suddenly, coming up the other stairs was a little girl with a red cape and a basket of goodies. When she saw all of those pig faces sticking out of the window, she said, Grandmama, how many heads you have? Well, the pigs looked at each other and they said, sorry, kid. Just us pigs. Well, the little girl with the red cape stomped her foot. She folded her arms. She looked at the audience. She said, it figures. I'll never find Grandma's house. There's too many pigs in these woods. But Sensible Pig had been watching all of this. She had been thinking while this was going on. She stepped out of the house. She stood right in front of it. And she looked at the wolf. And she looked at the girl. And she looked at the wolf. And she looked at the girl. And she looked at the wolf. And she looked at the girl. She got an idea. She said, hey, Wolfie. Do you know where this girl's grandma lives? The wolf said, of course I do.
Of course I do.
I know everything about the woods.
I know everything about
The pig said, would you take her there then? And the wolf stepped up to the audience and she rubbed her hands together. She said, what a great plan. I'd be happy to. And she offered the little girl her arm. And the little girl took it, and arm in arm, they skipped across the stage and out of the story to the applause of the crowd. The pigs dusted off their trotters and said, that takes care of two problems. When suddenly someone else came huffing and puffing down the forest trail, it was Mother Pig. You see, she'd heard about the new house, especially about the basement apartment with the big screen TV. And as often happens in these stories, in the end, she decided to move in with her little pigs. So, with an extra bear. So, at the end, they all lived happily ever after. As for the little girl with the red cape and the big bad wolf, well, that's another story. The end. Come on up here, Helpless. Come on up here. Step out here. Take a bow. Take a bow. Blow kisses at the audience. They love you. Very nice. Now, ladies and gentle pigs, when the press and your fan clubs are finished taking pictures of you, which you're welcome to do here in front of the house if you'd like, then we'll ask you to give your costumes to Callie over here, and she'll put them on our file to get ready for the next one. Thank you again for joining us, folks.